Gautama was a prince of a small princely state. When he was born, some yogi predicted that he will either become a great emperor or a great sage. When he made this prediction, Gautama's father got a little excited. He did not want him to become a great sage. He wanted him to become a great emperor. He thought that by being exposed to some suffering or misery, he may turn into a sage. So he kept him in utter pleasure, the best of food, clothes, and pleasures. When he was 19 years of age, his father got him married to a very pretty young woman, kept him in a palace which was secluded from the rest of the society, where he lived in pleasure and was never exposed to any kind of suffering. One day, Gautama thought that he will just take a drive through the town, so he asked his charioteer to take him across. As he was going, he saw a man who was old. He had never seen an old man in his life. His father had protected him from all this. He said, "What happened to him?" The charioteer said, "Oh, he is just an old man." "How does it happen?" he asked. He said, "Everyone gets old someday." He looked at himself. He was a nice youth. "What, me also?" He said, "Yes, everyone gets old. If they live long enough, they get old." This was a realization for him that I will become like this. Then he saw a man lying on the street who was ill with something, not able to get up and in great suffering. He said, "Stop. What is this guy? What's he doing?" He said, "Oh, he is sick, unfortunately." "What does that mean?" He said, "The body, sometimes it gets sick. It can happen to just anyone. Me, a prince? It can happen to me? It can happen to anyone." Then he saw, "Oh, I can become like this." He was completely disturbed by this. Then they went further, and he saw a funeral. They were carrying the dead body of a man. "What happened to that guy?" "Oh, he just died, that's all." "What does that mean?" "That happens to everyone without exception." Then he said, "What am I doing? Just eating, pleasures and nonsense. What am I doing with myself?" He went into turmoil within himself. Suddenly, being a prince and the pleasures of this palace broke apart for him. He started looking, what is the point of all this? This body is going to get old. This may get sick, and this will be dead for sure. Why am I investing my entire life in this? But by then he had an infant boy. He could not leave this loving wife and this lovely little baby. He struggled and struggled. By then, a little over 1¼ year had passed. When the little boy was 1½ years of age, he could not hold it anymore. In the middle of the night, without telling anyone, he slipped out of the palace like a thief and left for good. He went in search. I want to know the truth about this life.